Hola, my friends! I hope you are all well. In Vice City, we live in a cultural desert, a dirty, stinking mess of a place where...
Hello, and these aren't my usual fare. Not because they're going to retail eventually for $16,000, that they're prototypes, and they don't even have a name. These are from Soundfield Audio, and they're located in Florida. And that's important because this is how that story begins. You see, Soundfield Audio exists. They make these wild speakers. I'll show you a couple in a second. And they're doing the Florida AudioExpo, and they need amplifiers to do it. So guess who does their amplifiers? Leo from Orchard Audio provides the amplifiers to their room, and they do that for a couple of years back and forth where he brings the amps, they bring the speakers. It's a beautiful bringing together of things. So what if, instead of plugging them in, you just built them in? So I have one over here, because this is a professional channel where we definitely are professional. And this is a prototype. These are prototypes. So here's the deal. These are prototypes. They're probably going to end up being $16,000. If you want these prototypes, these that are currently in Pennsylvania, $8,000. There's some cosmetic stuff we're going to go over. They're not using the right completed drivers they're going to do. So they're definitely worth half. But we're going to get to it, especially because this is inside of it. If you know anything about Leo's amplifiers, and if you watch my Valencia review and you know what's inside of Valencia, you know it's this little tiny board, and it's like a $2,000 amplifier. Why would you pay a tiny little board for 17 watts? That there, let me get in the better light. Let me get in the lightest light. These 4 boards, each one of those is one of Leo's 500-watt modules, his GON modules. So those amps there that I paid a fucking fortune for are literally one of these boards with a big fuck-off toroidal transformer in it. And that amplifier there is 2 of these boards and and a power supply like this. So not a toroidal, not a linear. And so those are 500 watts. Those are 2  500 watts. So that's 4 500-watt boards, and it's only 1,800 watts. Because we're being conservative here on Z Reviews. Mostly because the power supply can only provide enough power at this stage for 1,800 watts out of these 4 Insano modules. And like, Zeos, why does he need 4? Is it a 4-way? Oh, just wait. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way. And we're going to get to it. This is also the prototype color. It will come in black. And I'm like, that's the worst. Do it in bright red. And this is also the prototype amount of connections. So let's not look at this. Let's look at the photos that I've got of the final. By the way, Swan D 8.1 Mark II. Like the ones that look like, oh, okay, so we'll get to those. Should I describe the speakers? So, all right, let's look at the thing, and then I'll tell you the new room number that Leo's going to be in at Florida Audio Expo. I will be down in Florida Audio Expo. He's in room, there's no exact model, proof of concept. 427 is his room for his amps. And the Soundfield room is going to room 435, and they're going to have different speakers in each room. So there, thinks that's the Titans that have his plate amp in it. So he's got this plate amp in those in their room, and in his room he's borrowing their bookshelves, which are the actually the $1,400 a pair is not bad. That is not bad. The big ones, those are $12,000 a pair, and since these are 16, these would be the highest price thing on his website. If I go here, we could see that this is $10,000 a pair. And that is as close as a representation to this, or that's the granddaddy, or the daddy of these. And what you don't see in that photo is that if you scroll down, oh, it's an open baffle. Yeah, these are an open baffle. See these openings? All these openings, open baffle. So this is technically my first open baffle speaker review. Oh, it's not a review. I want to clarify that also. I am not reviewing these. I'm not going to tell you that they're great because these are so prototype. I actually can't get them to work in my basement because, and I'll explain this, my favorite girl from Girl in Panzer, she has so much emotion deep inside. What you didn't see on this, you see Leo's amp modules and you see the power supply, but this little fucker right here that has these things, that's a DSP control board. And that's the predecessor DSP control board. Obviously, there's going to be a slightly better one on the final model, which I was going to show you when we got out of it. These were DSP corrected specifically for the Jersey show that happened whenever, back in September, August. When was that? October? Oh, it was Halloween party. It was October. Whenever the New York, the show in New Jersey happened, these were there. Leo was presenting them there. And so they got put there and they got tuned for that room. And the DSP board that's in there can be programmed per room. And guess what? I am not the programmer of the DSP board. I could access it, but I can't like do the corrections or anything. So it sounds real fucking weird and I refuse to review it. But that's the level of speaker we're at now. And it's not, since it's like, here's the thing. It's not a folk house speaker. You can go and spend $17,000, $16,000 on a folk house speaker. And everyone's like, oh, you bought a folk house, really nice. When you go to a place like Soundfield, and I'll show you I'm going to actually ask for these, the MMWs. You're like, oh, look, that's a speaker. That's a speaker. Is that an 8-inch up-firing subwoofer? You get weird experimental stuff. What did I just click on? Oh, God, don't go there. These, there's no picture. Like that, that's straight Miami Vice. Like, I don't even, is it pretty? Is it ugly? The horn is vertical. You know what else has vertical horns? My clips here have vertical horns. So that's a thing you could do. Those are the Monitor 2s. And all of these speakers just scream, holy fuck, this guy's got nothing better to do than try different designs. And that's like a baby version of this, only I think they're all sealed bass, and this is trying to be open baffle bass, which is one of my complaints, but I don't know if that's my room or the correction. And we can go all the way up, by the way, to, those are massive. All these pictures look like they're taken out of the 70s. It's wild. Those are refrigerators with more little refrigerators on top. Then we've got subwoofers that looks like the pictures you'd find of like criminals. Like they took them off security cameras or something. Like, what the hell is that? Anyway, it's fine. And then the obelisk, which is the ones that Leo's going to have in his room. Or no, this might be the one that's in the other room. And instead of whatever plate amps they had on these, some probably pissant Hypex. Ha! Out of the way, Hypex. Time to get some fucking orchard in you. Instead of those plate amps, it's Leo's plate amps, because Leo's amps are the best. Can't keep saying it, all right? You're going to suck it. Anyway, I am currently feeding it individually the newer board, which I didn't show you the inputs, even though it's been up 15 fucking times. And it's the least interesting thing, but it's kind of interesting. That's wallpapers. You're not interested in that. You go get the wallpaper horde, you'll be fine. So this one only has 2 inputs, and that's one per side, and then you do it and you're done. This will have digital pass-through. You'll have an optical input or a coaxial digital input or an RCA input or an XLR input or an AES input. And each one of those, I mean, technically, the digital ones at least, like the optical and the SPDIF, both output from that SPDIF. I'm assuming that if you do optical, it does it. So then you run another SPDIF cable or coaxial cable to the other speaker, and it reads it. This is very similar to the Fluid Audio Image 2s that I reviewed 2 years ago, one of my favorite speakers of all time, where you give it a digital signal to one, and then you give it that same digital signal out back again to the other one, and they both use their own DACs, and they both timed perfectly because it doesn't take any seconds to do that. And that was the only problem, is why I had to buy that mini DSP to control the digital volume. The difference is these will eventually have a remote control to control all this, because right now it's just give signal, do things. These are very, very prototype. There might even be an option if you do buy these for 8,000 used, that they'll let you upgrade to the final panels, either for free. I mean, it technically should be for free since most of the hardware is still on there. Like, you're getting all 4 amplifiers back, and you're getting the fucking power supply back. You're just adding the different module and plate. But that means you're going to be able to sit down, use a remote, change. I guess you could probably change inputs. I don't know how many people are going to have more than one input into this. And then you could also have analog in and through and run it through. Everything in and through. And it's a great system because that means you feed this digital. The digital doesn't have to technically turn into analog to be run through a pulse width modulating Class D amplifier, does it? I don't know. You can teach me how that shit works. Anyway, so that's good. That's good news. This is all exciting, actual. I like speakers that take risks, and these are taking many risks. I'll now describe them for you. I know we're like 7.5 minutes into this video. 7.5. It's a 5-way. Like we had with your grandma last week. Oh, snap. 2 open baffle 12-inch on the bottom. 1 12-inch coaxial there. So that is a technically mid-range with technically a tweeter in there. But that's not enough. It's not enough that there's a tweeter back there behind that. There's a super tweeter up here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4-way. Zeos, that's a 4-way. I don't want to have a 4-way. I have those with your grandma last night too. And then you want a 5-way. You want the full 5-way. What if I told you there's a giant planar driver on the back? Yeah, I know, planar on a speaker. It's a thing. You can look it up. It is a thing. And that actually is interesting because I can play with that. That has the functionality. If I just touch the button on the back, it will either be 100% shoot sound out equally as like front and back and try to do the wall and bounce and make it sound huge, or half volume, so it does that again, but it's a little less noticeable, which is the way I liked it, even with those things on the wall. And then there's just off, which I think we're on now because, I don't know, I was playing with it, I'm not playing with it again, it's fine. The point is, that's, Focal, we all love Focal. We all love, like, high-end Klipsch. They have all these speakers, but you never get that weird touch. That, like, you know what? I bet you this guy's been thinking about doing this for fucking 15 years. He's like, you know what we need? More. More, bigger, and on the back, too. I have a remote. It's in my pants. So I'm just going to just... They're waking up because they went to sleep. I set the sleep timer real short because I couldn't unplug the thing without the thing. Trust me, it's a whole thing that's going to be sorted. If you do buy these for $8,000, it's Zeos Pater's yard sale, or I guess on the swap meet. I'll put them in I think they are in the swap meet channel, actually. If you're a $10 or $15 patron, and you're in the swap meet channel, look up to like October-ish, because I think Leo posted these in there as like $8,000 used and slightly damaged. They're a little bit of like, there's like little touches, like this corner sticks out past the edge that is rounded here, so it's like, ugh, but they're not done. And then the seam is coming off here, so you need to touch it up with a little bit of paint. And the finish is fine. And I think there are grills, but I do not have them because there are mount points for grills. I would not grill these. Fuck that. I'm trying to imagine them with like a high contrast driver. I'm a huge slut for like silver speaker with black, or I love white drivers. Where are they? Silver ones are here. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like high contrast. And I feel like if those were like bam, 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 and it would have to be a different color for that so you could identify it. Plus, this couldn't be colored because it has to be a grill. The overall impression I got with these when I dragged them down here, and trust me, we dragged them down here. They are not light. They're lighter than you think, but they're not easy. They're like 100 pounds each. The impression I got is I was going to die. I was going to sit in this seat and I was going to put these and I'm going to get fucking just destroyed. There, exactly what she's holding is exactly what I was about to get in my ass. Straight there. Just death. And that's not the case. And that is partially my basement's fault. Open baffle speakers like a bit of echo. If I dragged these upstairs to the great room and I put them there, they'd probably sound better. Even though they were tuned for a little tiny hotel room, you can't cheat physics. And these speakers with open baffles are looking to expel air and have it do something. And I've got just lots of nothing behind curtains. That's really close, actually. How you doing? Oh, Toxoditis devices. Oh, look, all my not safe for work figures. Look at that. Look at that. That's where the not safe for work ones are. And then, like, my entire ceiling is filled with insulation, so this is a very dampened room. So they're going, huh, and the back of it's going. If I brought them upstairs where the echo is terrible, open baffle makes a lot more sense. So we've got 5-way drivers, and every one of them is being, so this is an amp. This actually is 1 amp module. There is a standard crossover component between the big cone and the tweeter. That's its own fucking Orchard Audio 500 watt amplifier. That gets 500 watts. This gets 500 watts. That gets 500 watts. And then that, I have no idea how hard it is to drive a planar that big. I guess like 2 Susvaras, but that gets 500 watts. Or just under 500 watts. Do the math. And when I sat down, I thought I was going to just be killed immediately. Let's, Yugo Senki's on, which is not that, but... No, wait, no. Ah. Oof. There is no sub on. The sub is muted. The bass kicks that this thing will throw out, it's weird because usually I know from like my subwoofers, but since this is like open baffle bass, it's like Allah. Like it doesn't go a lot and get to you. You sound, you hear, you feel, you could see the speakers like, I'm gonna fucking murder you. And it's just like, because there's too much dampening around it. So they're a little bit weak. I actually did a sound level test and I was able to push these to the level of distortion. And I got those like 3 or 4 decibels louder before I was like, I'm going to blow these up. So that there's a slight size difference between 2 5.25s and 3 12s. But these are not that loud in their current configuration. And it's everything to do with the software because those drivers are moving scarily a lot. And I know what should happen when I see a 12-inch driver going, I should die. But I'm not because it's open baffle and it's just tuned so... The DSP for that... If you've ever been to a hotel room where they're doing an audio show, I think you can imagine the correction that was applied and it ruins everything. Oh God, the Dread OST? All right, hold on. Yeah, like let's get down on our hands and knees. In fact, I'm going to borrow this beautiful purple light. I hate the name of these. These are Goovy. Ugh. You got some Goovy lights and they got the Goovy... Ugh. Like, that's a lot. Hold on. They're fucking flying. They're like, bah, 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 and they're not up all the way. I don't have them like to the point where I think they're going to explode. But that's a lot of movement. Got to match that side. My OCD will not appeal to me. But they're not like killing me with bass. I would have to do probably a sub crawl with these. Put one on the seat. Crawl around my whole basement. But that doesn't work because you can't put the whole fucking speaker wherever it sounds the best over here because it could be 5 feet away, 500 feet away. I think the potential for this speaker, because this is literally just it's a tech demo. Wouldn't it be cool if we had a speaker and we put 4 megawatt amplifiers in it and just gave everything its own thing and then we can go and DSP correct it so that everything matches perfectly? And the answer would be, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. You want to do that? And then they just did. And then they switched it up and put the Leo's amps in there to give it like I can't tell you how much those are great. I never disconnect them from these. Which, by the way, everyone's like, I don't buy a silver. Why'd you buy a silver one? Because if I put a light in it, it's purple now. You bitch. I'd also like to see these in a brighter color. I don't know why black is the best-selling color for audio gear. Get out of the... Come on, man. Color. Excite me. Silver and wood and black. White. Wow. I really need more colorful speakers down here. That's right. I got my purple ones upstairs, which you guys may or may not have seen. Those are speakers that scream from the soul. So the tweeter doesn't kill me, but I know it has the potential to. This is the weirdest part. So the weirdest part I found with these, by the way, they still sound quite thick. These are the FIO KR2R warmer DAC of speakers. And that's the thing. Leo's amps are very neutral and very clean. And I think I like how Soundfield approaches it. Because if you go with Leo's amps and Leo's preamps, it's like balls neutral. Like, holy fuck. But not sterile because whatever you feed it with can usually color the sound. That's why it's here. That's why those are here. And they're hooked up to 2 individual R2R Musician Pegasus DACs. Each one of those amps has one of those because I need to run. It's a whole mess. It's a fucking mess. Calm down because it was top and bottoms. These I feel are tuned very much from the heart. While they have room correction and all that stuff to make it more measure flatter, I know when I see a speaker that is trying to approach a certain type of sound. You know, a 4-foot tall speaker with 3 fucking 12s in the front of it. And that is not a perfectly linear, and that is what if we built the most fun Klipsch Cerwin Vega speaker system in the world, but then tuned it to be absolutely neutral? These have the potential, I feel the potential in them, to be an exciting sounding speaker. So Leo doesn't have to worry about his amplifiers being neutral, because you're just going to plug them through this, and you can't possibly take away the warmth and lovingness of the sound. Yeah, I know I'm getting things. I'm not reviewing these. I'm just talking about their potential. And I want you to, when they eventually come out, I want someone to at least go like, you know what about those Soundfields? Soundfield. They don't have a name yet, so they're just called the Soundfields. He should call them the Soundfields, like the Ferrari LaFerrari. That'd be funny. This, by the way, is Pirates 4 Angelica, like Pirates of the Caribbean 4. But let's keep moving. Prague Philharmonic doing Star Trek, the motion picture. Oh, this is a slight warning, or a little, how about this? It's a fun fact. If you follow where these are plugged in, because I am using the hospital cables we give with Valencia, they go to that splitter bastard there, and then that splitter bastard goes to a black extension cord that's good for 14 amps, and then that black extension cord goes over, way over, as a pool, where are we? Oh, beautiful, and plugs into that, because this, my friends, is the only dedicated 20 amp circuit in my basement, because the people who built this house put 2 outlets down here, and guess what? They're shared with every light. If you plug in the power supply for this, just plug it in, because there's no on-off switch. When it charges those capacitors up, it spikes to like 10 amps. Twice. So either I had to plug it in and then plug in another one. And in this space, by the way, we are running off of the same circuit that the lights are on. So it's like, if I you need to worry about powering these, because it's not like they're drawing a lot of power. They're Class D, but that power supply just goes the second you plug it in. And if I would plug it in, even on a dedicated 20 amp, I plugged it in and the lights dimmed in the basement for a split second. That was my biggest concern when he brought them here. Like, can we hook them up? I'm like, not yet. I need to figure this out. I could probably plug one of them into my like regular power brick that I use here for just normal speakers, but I couldn't plug 2, and certainly not. I honestly still shouldn't turn them on at the same time. I should unplug one, go there, plug that in, come back here, plug the other one in. That will be sorted, I believe, when they have the remote control, because it'll be a soft on, soft off, or you would plug them in once and not turn them off, because it would just be sleep mode. And this power supply doesn't maintain 1,800 watts of load or something absurd like that. I think it was a 1,000 watt pull as soon as you plugged it in. I couldn't measure it fast enough. It's just, again, all of this to prep me for this terrifying experience of getting a round right in the face or ass, whatever I said earlier. To then have them be like oddly easy to get to distortion if I push it too hard, just because of what the corrections are trying to do. So it plays relatively softly when I'm down here listening to Juno Reactor, The Heavens. That might be the quietest this song has ever played, and sounded like I need to turn it down. Like it's having 500 watts going to those tweeters, or the potential for it, it means nothing if they're tuning. Because that's the thing with Class D. Like, you saw how much was on that module. Just put another one in. It's 500. What, you're wasting it? It's a little, just put it on there. Fuck it. Put it on there. These speakers have pretty amazing potential. Oh, I want to also plug the... These are the nicest XLR cables besides RI cables. Please check out Princess Pasta Audio if you're interested in Italian RI cables. She's a dealer in Canada now. And US, she'll sell. These are the Quad Shield XLRs from World's Best. Look, there's a little thing. And they're so soft. Like, they're the nicest XLRs. Look at that loop there. It's just... I'll link something that you could actually purchase in this video besides the Orchard amps and link to his homepage, which just it's, a speaker's going to be good. This is the rule of thumb. If you don't know, I've had to be in this game for like a decade to get this knowledge. So if you haven't been and you're hearing it, you need to swear a vow of celibacy and silence to never mention it. The rule of thumb is if you go to a speaker brand's website, like you go to a show and I never heard of Soundfield, look it up. If you go to them and the website is posh and nice, probably not going to sound that good. If the website looks like it was published in 1999, they're going to be fucking bangers. I want tuned open baffles down here. This has inspired me to like actually seek out a company that who's your favorite open baffle speaker manufacturer? Please tell me in the comments. I need to know. Because I want what this is doing, but, simpler and not $16,000. Remember, you can buy these for $8. Just, go check Leo out. Actually, where do I tell you to do that? You know what? I don't know. Go over to Orchard Audio or I guess Soundfield and do the contact us, and you could probably send an email. First one there wins. No, I don't want to pause. I want to skip. All right, right there. You kind of hear some rattling, I think. Oh yeah. I am squeezing this. I also think that these plastic grills, I had to put some blue tack there, aren't fastened as well as they should be. So it's just like, they're trying to kill everyone. Yeah, these have the potential. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe these are killing me with sound, but like at a reasonable listening level. Whereas like if killing me with sound might be like blow those speakers out of the water, fucking these things. Those things are like 700 watts each. No, they still sound great. I'll pull those out. I haven't pulled those out in like a year and a half. I'm real sad. But I ain't selling them. Feel free to check out my Patreon and Subscribestar, where I'm not selling those. God damn it. This is actually probably a good test. Skip. Oh, I also got a link, a FLIRC. I'm using just my standard, what is this, a Vizio? My Vizio remote to control everything when I do this. If I plays and pauses and things. Because this little guy here is programmable, and he's plugged into the computer. And then you get the software, and it's like, play button, this. Next track, this. Spacebar, this. And you could teach that. See, I'm selling things in the middle of selling things. It's good. It's good news. Also, and I don't want to spoiler this, but this is a treat for you people who stay through these like weird reviews. I may have gotten a certain popular earbud company that advertises lots of places. I may have gotten their attention. Oh, shit. That's what I'm saying. They're super popular and probably terrible. It's going to be fun. So, what I got to say about these, I want to hear other Soundfield speakers. These have gotten me into this like weird mood of like, what? And then there's like felt here. It's like, well, why is the felt there? Is it specific for something? Or is it just easy to hold? Probably was easier to carry the damn thing. What are the other drivers? Like when they're finalized, what's the change in those drivers going to do? Like, how are they going to be better? Because these are just like temporary drivers for it. Like, I want to hear the final version somewhere. I'm excited to hear them in a room because I've moved them. I have the grid lines on the floor, if you haven't ever noticed. I think that was like the first year I was down here. We took this rug from upstairs and brought it down here because it had a grid pattern on it. And then I just started marking every 10 inches so I can move the speakers identically left and right and left and right. Oh, no, if you're not drawing on your floor, with Pasco Japanese markers linked in the description, which I don't think this actually was, and mine are just Sharpies, to move your speakers so you can be symmetrical. What the fuck are you even doing with your life? Are you even an audiophile? I question you. I walk into your house. There isn't shit drawn all over your floor. I thought about what it would be like. I question, for my only piece of merchandise, what if I sold an audiophile rug and it literally was just printed with exactly like the lines and the patterns? This is copyrighted right now. all like the angles, and you got like distance measurements, and I guess like little factoids you might need to know as you're setting up your $25,000 speakers. Like, oh, did you know that impedance? Blah, blah, blah. And just, I don't know, like I just want a symmetry rug so that I could perfectly line things up, because I basically made one. It would probably cost $1,700. It'll be a $200 rug, but you got to charge audiophiles the right amount or they don't pay attention. So, right, you want a rug? What $300 rug? Pfft, get out of here. I want these speakers finished, and I want to hear them with Leo's amps at maximum capacity. Honestly, let's just add lead weights to all the drivers so that they move slower, so Leo's amps can do something. I feel like they could have almost gotten away with 150 watt versions of his modules, but I think they're going for that instant control, because when you are doing DSP corrections as hard as these are, you need that driver to be where it needs to be, no matter what it was doing 1,000th of a second ago. You got to be on the other side of the fucking field. You got to be over there, and that's where it goes. Just give it instantaneously like 318 watts. Okay, now it's over there. All right, now give it like 6 again. Because most drivers like this large do not need that sort of power. But when you're trying to do micro controls of I guess particle, because how far do you speaker nerds out there? I'm not one of you. Get out of my fucking college. What's like the maximum back and forth? What is that value called? Because that's like the biggest, loudest note. If you're trying to adjust for things that are happening slightly quieter or in a higher frequency band, you're talking about 1,000 hertz. You're not going to see a thing move for 1,000 hertz. You're talking about control of the space of that much in microseconds. So 500 watts, bam, that's why you need it. Community soundtrack was fantastic. Ooh, drums and bells. I don't actually know if I would get a copyright match for this, but I love you guys enough. Let's go to the really loud bit. Like, it's just the sound of marbles and bells and drums and, like, can you copyright noise? I guess it's rhythmic noise now. That's my wedding song now. Anyway, that album is Comparing Sticks. Drums and bells. Keep an eye on these. Come to Florida. Hang out. It's February. You don't want to be wherever you are. I don't want to be in Pennsylvania. I'm going to be at New York Can Jam, by the way, for one day and one day only, probably Saturday. I will be at New York Can Jam, sponsored by FIO. I've already put it in so I could save my tank of gas. And I'm going to be going to Florida because last year they were on the same weekend. Now they're separate. So I get to do both. Go down to Florida, listen to the other speakers. Just listen to Leo's amps. The hardest thing to compare at a show is an amp. Because it's like, well, I don't know this room. I probably don't know those speakers. And I probably don't know the music or the source gear. So, how does that thing sound in the middle? I don't fucking know. So you got to trust someone you have to trust a reviewer. I know we're all scum. But anyone who's had amplifier after amplifier, and I haven't lived through the catalog of like Steve Gutenberg, all right? But of my categories of amplifiers, from all the way from the cheapest Dayton Audios through SMSLs and toppings, all the way up to like, well, I would say up to crowns, but then people are like, that's Class D Zeros, I'll kill you. But these have by far, like the amplification of something by far, I didn't respect it enough until I got to experience enough of it. That's how this whole fucking hobby works, and why there are so many people on Reddit. My whole patronage chat, if you are not a patron, my whole patronage chat is screenshotting Reddit. Because everyone's fucking, oh my God. Please, Redditors, get off Reddit. Go to a forums. I don't care which one it is. It could be mine. It could be Hi-Fi Guides, forum.hifiguides.com. It could be there. It could be AVS still a thing? I don't care. I don't care what forum you go to, but go to a place that's not Reddit. Because, oh my God, just because, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not getting into it. Instead, I'm going to play more. There we go. That's the frame drums. These have the potential to reproduce those sounds more than any other speaker in this house, including those with those attached. Maybe not once I add the sub, which if I put that on, are we all going to die? Yes. Oof. You could tell, and it's only on 30. So, check out Soundfield. You guys know Orchard Audio. If you don't, check it out. Check out Leo. Check out Leo. Just makes the amps. Just makes the amp modules. Just makes a little tiny amp module. What do you? Is that all? Is that what I'm paying for? Look at this tiny little piece of shit. I'm going to pay all that money for that? Yeah. Yeah, you are. Of course, it's that good. Anyway, I'm done. You're done. We're all done. Oh, look at those big capacitors for my 500 watt into 4 ohms. It's 250 into 8 ohms. But, okay, so get your things in the description. Oh, hold on. I'll do the full outro. I got to do the full outro. I'm still pointed right. Patreon and subscribe star do support this channel. This video obviously isn't going to get me any sales on Soundfield, and even if it did, he doesn't even know who the hell I am. Actually, we did have a conversation, so he does know who the hell I am. And I told him, don't worry, he knows they're not going to work right here. And as a creator, like if I give you Eris, no, actually, if I gave you Serene and you didn't know it's fucking broken and the wire's bad, I would be so nervous that you're going to fuck up the review. He's like, oh, but this is not like, don't worry, I understand the concept. I understand they're not right for this area as they are. And they're still impressive. They still have this bigness about them that's like, that can get louder. It can't get bigger. It can't get bigger. Patreon subscribe to support the channel. Again, we're starting this rant over again. For $7 a month, see reviews early, participate in yard sales, get to lossless sound demos. Shit, I forgot to do that at the beginning. I uploaded 20 new headphone sound demos. New ones. All new, including some units that I haven't even reviewed yet, like the new Skyland. And what else did I do that hasn't been reviewed yet? Something else. I'm sure it was something else. And if you pay a little more, you get into the patronage chat where we were making fun of Reddit. And that's on Telegram. And you also get into a lifetime swap meet channel to buy, sell, and trade gear, where when you just have these are in the swap meet channel. It goes anywhere from people's like old PlayStation portables up to these. Actually, what is the most expensive item that ever went into the swap meet? This might be close. I'm sure we've had like a combo where it's like Susvara and 3 other amplifiers. But all right, I'm done. You're done. We're done. Thank you for stopping by. I'll even link to Goovy. I think they're on fucking Amazon. God damn it. What else can I link to? What am I linking to? Oh, a random anime. I got all of those on Amazon, and then they all went away because they're bootlegs. Heartful Tank Girls. You know, my favorite show. Heartful Tank Girls. And yes, she only has one glass. We good? Cool? I'm actually going to sit down and listen to a little bit more of Drums and Bells. And then, wait. Actually, don't wait. Where the hell is... Oh.